I partnered with Charlie for 5 years. And even though I didn't go fishing with you guys, he and I were pretty close. I saw him at his best, standing best man at his wedding, during too. Anyways, I miss him. He was a good friend. A good partner.
A good man. Here, here.
Well, I want to thank all of you, along with Charlie's mom and dad, for being here. You were his best friends, and he would have appreciated it.
Here, here.
So, if no one else wants to speak.
I would like to say something. I know my son had a lot of problems. A lot of dreams he couldn't make happen. Marrying Jody. I thought he had found his way, but he didn't. Maybe it's because I failed as a mom. I didn't teach him to deal with the world. I miss you, Charlie. You were always my sweet little boy.
You okay?
I ought to be asking you.
I'm glad it's over. Kind of sad, wasn't it? Only people who show up at your funeral are your wife, your ex-partner, and a couple of drunk fishing buddies.
I don't know. His folks were there.
Still not much to show for 40 years on the planet.
Well, at least he had his mom and his dad.
Are your parents still alive?
I don't know. My father bailed when I was a year old, and my mother left me with her sister about a year after that. She and her husband had a tough enough time raising their own kids, so I wound up living in a bunch of different foster homes.
Is Cisco your real name?
No. I took it from my high school football coach, Warren Cisco. He was the closest thing I ever had to a real dad. He died right after I went into the Marines.
So all those years as a cop and then here, did you ever try and find your parents?
Every time I thought about it, I couldn't get past how come neither of them ever tried to find me.
Oh, come on, Frank. You're 39 years old. Don't you think it's time maybe you tried to connect the dots?
What's the point?
The point is, life is short. At the rate you're going, when you die, you'll be no better off than Charlie was. I'm sorry, that was out of line.
No, you're right. I wanted to. I was just always afraid of what I'd find.
Would you like me to do it for you?
I think maybe I would.
I'll start tomorrow. Good night, Frank.
Good night.
See, the tension works its way into your shoulders. And if it's not squeezed out, you can develop scapular hematosis, avuncular constriction, or even worse.
Come on.
No, I'm serious. Human touch on a regular basis is essential for a healthy mind and body, Regina.
It's Geneva, Steve.
What did I say?
Wegman? A moment of your time?
To be continued. What can I do you for, Georgie?
What you were doing just now to that woman could be construed as sexual harassment.
What? What, imparting a little therapeutic animal warmth,
And
Georgie?
addressing her in an offensive and demeaning manner.
Oh, come on. We were just engaging in a little harmless office banter.
Our attorneys have drawn up this agreement to protect the firm in the event an employee is sued for sexual harassment.
Get a grip of it, Georgie. I think you're blowing this thing way out of proportion.
I need a signature.
I'll read it in the can.
Read it wherever you like, but sign it now or no paycheck.
Oh, Georgie, Georgie, Georgie. You just wanted my autograph, didn't you?
Morning, Geneva.
Hi, Frank. You got some messages. Hey, Mr. Clark Landreth called to ask if you'll be attending the California Association of Licensed Investigators annual dinner.
Tell him yes.
And Dwayne and Selma would like a meeting ASAP to discuss a domestic case that he'd like you to handle.
Refer him to Joe Bradley. Dwayne Anselm was a pain in the ass.
Sorry to bother you, Frank, but I need you to deal with the Wegman situation.
Can you be more specific?
Reception.
Is he giving Geneva a hard time?
He's all over her. I tried talking to him, but it's like having a conversation with a fog bank. And what concerns me is his behavior could land us in a major lawsuit.
Thanks for bringing it to my attention, George. I'll take care of it.
Frank, Hollywood Armed Response alerted LAPD to a trespasser at the Richards residence.
Thank you, Geneva. Could you tell Steve Wegman for me? Geneva, I'll tell him myself.
Okay.
You know what this little kid gets per movie? $3 million. 15 years old. I mean, that buys a lot of Brad Pitt collectibles.
Excuse me, gentlemen, I'll have to stop you right here.
That's okay, officer. He's with us.
Thanks.
Restraining order? Did a world of good, Frank. That little bastard won't quit. Oh, Carl Minkus from Substantial Pictures, Frank Cisco.
My associate, Steve Wegman.
How do you do?
What am I, is it? Fiona, the cause of all this, as my mother keeps reminding me.
You think this is all a big joke, don't you? Frank, he knows her shooting schedule. 10 minutes after we get back from the studio, that little psycho was here peeking in the windows. Well, I mean, what if he had a gun?
If it's any comfort, Diane, the threat assessment we worked up on him doesn't indicate any predisposition towards violence.
Still, I think we should consider beefing up security. At least until principal photography is finished.
On whose dollar, Carl?
The studio will be more than happy to pay.
How about a couple of pit bulls to munch the creeper?
How about an armed guard to keep you from flirting with the extras?
All I did was say hi to him.
And probably let him look down your blouse as a bonus.
I wouldn't talk. You're the one I get the slut gene from.
You listen to me. I'm your mother. You can't talk to me like that.
Excuse me, weren't you the one who ran off to Vegas to get married 9 months pregnant with me?
In the house now. Now.
Kids, you know.
So what would you recommend to tighten our security?
I want 24-hour armed guards.
Odds are Ross will be off the street until he's arraigned, which will probably be in the morning.
I would still feel better having someone here tonight.
Well, I guess I should familiarize myself with the premises.
Thank you. Carl.
You're taking the first shift?
Might as well.
Thought this was poker night.
Duty calls, Frank. Besides, I need a quiet evening in the hills. Listening to the coyotes, crickets.
So if I drive by here later tonight, the only howling I'm gonna hear is gonna be the coyotes.
Oh, you wound me.
30 minutes later, we were coasting along. runway to a remote corner of the Palm Springs airport, where I spotted Frank Sinatra leaning against a black car, his arms folded across an orange short-sleeved shirt. He looked handsome. As I climbed down the plane steps, clutching my cat and straw hat, he walked up to us and laughed.
I thought you might like some coffee.
Oh, thanks. You didn't have to go to all that trouble.
Aren't you freezing?
I'm fine.
Wow, this is a cool car.
It's a 62. Her name is Lois.
Great back seat. Bet you use it all the time.
Hauling stuff.
I meant having, you know, sex.
Fiona? What are you doing out here? You got lines to learn.
I'm taking a break.
Well, your break's over. Come on inside.
Whatever you sing, Mommy dearest. Nighty-night, Steve.
I feel like I'm raising an alley cat.
Well, you know, they can be a handful of this age.
What year?
62?
You keep it in cherry condition.
Ah, it's got a few dings.
Don't we all? That guy really spooked me today. Do you mind if I call you Steve?
I prefer generally to be called Special Agent Steve. But I guess in this case we can waive the protocol.
When I start to worry, Steve, I can't sleep at all.
You don't have to worry. You are well protected.
I'd still feel a whole lot better if you came inside.
I'm here to serve.
Glad to hear Frankie's doing okay for himself. Figured him for jail or worse.
As I said on the phone, I'm trying to locate his mother and father.
He should forget he had a mother, if you ask me. Dolores was a drunk and a slut. She abandoned her own kid, for God's sake.
When was the last time you were in contact with her?
Not since Frank was 2 or 3, maybe. She and Denise, my ex-wife, were sisters. Dolores asked us to take Frankie for a couple of weeks because she was going on tour with her rock and roll boyfriend or some damn thing. Anyway, a couple of weeks turned into 2.5 years.
She left Frank with you and never came back.
I guess she was hitting the booze pretty good and wasn't in any shape to look after her kid. When I lost my job, we had to put him in a foster home. Besides, he was causing trouble all the time, and I didn't need the grief.
What do you know about Frank's dad?
Not a lot. After he walked out on Dolores, we never heard from him again.
So you have no idea how we could locate either one of them?
But you might get a hold of my ex. She moved to Orlando, married to a guy named Marsh. I don't know if Denise stays in touch with her sister, but it's worth a try. Tell Frankie I said hi. Hope they know hard feelings. How we gave him up.
That's not Frank.
I guess anyone goes looking for a mother like Dolores has forgiveness to spare, huh?
Thank you.
Morning, Ms. Richards. How'd it go last night?
Uneventful. But that didn't stop me from jumping out of my skin at every little sound.
Understandable, given the circumstances.
You know, Mr. Wegman suggested that I might feel less anxious in a more easily secured environment like a hotel. He said that you know people at the Seven Palms.
That's right.
Well, I spoke to the studio. They're willing to pay the freight.
Then I'll make the arrangements. You should know Robert Ross is scheduled to be released today. We'll be keeping him under surveillance.
Isn't there any way you can keep him off the streets?
He made bail. There's not much else we can do except go ahead and charges.
Some kind of system, huh?
I understand your frustration, Ms. Richards, but with a tail on Ross and an operative with you and your daughter at all times, I think we'll be okay.
So listen, I have to get back to the studio.
So, do you need me to give you a lift?
Thanks, but Steve said he would. Mind if I use the ladies' room?
It's through the kitchen.
Not a bad idea, putting them in the Seven Palms, huh, Frank?
Makes a lot of sense.
Do you think I'm gonna get so much as a muchas gracias from Escobar for getting his presidential suite running out at 4K a night?
So, I notice you're working days now, too.
Well, do I care if I gotta put in a double shift to make the client happy?
Seems like you're developing quite a rapport with her.
You know how it is. Out of the field, women in jeopardy, looking for a pillar of strength to lean on.
Steve, I don't want this operation compromised in any way.
For the record, I hold myself to the highest professional standards. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Oh, look, we gotta hurry up. I'm gonna be late for my shrink.
No problem.
You're not gonna believe what that idiot director wants me to do. I'm supposed to be a high school student with a major crush on her science teacher, so of course I'm gonna flash a little ta-ta in the scene.
Director doesn't want that, huh?
He says my top stays on or it's illegal. He's lying. Hi, Steve.
Well, I'm sure you two will be able to figure out what's best for the character. I'm gonna go see Dr. Thompson. So, Steve will take you home. Hmm?
Lies unzipped. You think my mom's a hottie?
Steve Wegman?
Frank Sinatra.
I was making a delivery, and I nicked the front of that old caddy in the parking pass and I.
You hit my car?
It's a beautiful car, man. I feel awful. Here, I wrote down my insurance, my driver's license. Yes, sir, buddy.
Son of a bitch. Regina.
Neville get a hold of you about the Ross kid?
Yeah. Extra caution. No problem.
What's up?
Nothing. Everything's under control. Something terrible's happened, Frank. It's a subpoena.
What did I tell you yesterday?
God, Frank, I am sorry. Look, I didn't think I did anything wrong. But at least I signed that form insulating the firm.
Even so, if she gets some shark lawyer, we could be looking at a $500,000 judgment.
If I can just talk to Regina, I know I can make it go away, Frank.
Go nearer, and the judgment triples. I'll talk to her lawyer. From now on, there's 10 feet between you and her at all times.
Absolutely.
And I expect a major change in behavior. It's not right you putting the firm in a bind like this.
I'm sorry, Frank.
And it's Geneva, not Regina.
I'm dyslexic, Frank.
I'll get back to you on this.
Thanks, Frank. You're a prince. Bonafide.
I mean, how am I supposed to watch TV when there are only like 40 channels? At home, I get at least 300.
If none of the movies we offer interest you, I can have a VCR brought up and we can send out for some videos.
Forget it. I just can't believe what a dump this place is that you're not even hooked up to the satellite.
Is there something else I can do for you, Miss Richards?
Yeah. You can get me another fruit basket. The bananas in that one are rotten.
Those are red plantains from Honduras. Still look like that.
Well, they're gross. I want normal bananas, not fruit for fruits.
Certainly. If I can be of service to you, please don't hesitate to
Keep your
call.
voice down. My mother is asleep in the next room.
Oh, let's go, Mom. Hey, Escobar. While you're at it, have room service bring me up a ham sandwich. I'm starving.
That outfit of hers for your benefit?
She's a little precocious. Not interested.
Good. I wouldn't want you ending up like Fatty Arbuckle.
Not a problem. 300 sit-ups a day.
Huh.
Whew.
The nerve of that guy.
I know, but you gotta be careful with Escobar. The man has the power to see that saliva gets into your food.
You are so foul. You want one?
Not on duty. And you are underage, my dear. What does your mother say about you having this?
Between her Chardonnay and her Xanax, I could set off a bomb and she wouldn't care.
No.
So, you sleep around a lot? I just want to know how my mom ranks.
That is none of your business.
Because I promise you I'm better. At least that's what everyone says.
Shouldn't you be playing Barbie?
Okay. And you be Ken.
New rules. 10-foot perimeter around Uncle Steve, just for the hell of it.
I'm sorry, I guess when I like someone, I come on a little strong.
Hey, look, you're a kid. Why don't you act like one? Instead of pulling this cherry bomb routine.
I wouldn't know how to even if I wanted to. Never really been a kid.
Well, you know, you can use me as an example. I mean, I'm an expert. Look, I'm not going to snow you. Carrying on with your mom was an error in judgment on my part. I've been making a few of those lately.
It's no big deal. Actually, I think it's pretty okay. I mean, I'm a lonely person. We both are, really. Well, I should, get some sleep.
Yes.
Nighty-night, Uncle Steve.
Oh, good night now. Cut it out!
You're right. I went too far. What I probably deserve is a really good spanking.
Oh, I'll be out now.
Don't you want your tonsils back? You want company? I'm up all night.
For Miss Richards, many new bananas.
Frank, this little girl's a full-tilt psycho. You gotta pull me.
What are you talking about?
She attacked me. Sexually.
She attacked you.
Frank, I have been around the block more than a few times, and let me tell you something. This little girl is a man-eater.
I'll get Elliot.
I would never go after a 15-year-old. And after our little talk yesterday, not even 17. Speaking of our little talk, did you get the offer from the lawyer?
The lawyer and I are playing phone tag.
Frank, you have got to make this go away.
Steve, I'm trying. But you gotta understand that this is serious stuff.
I know. I know. And believe me, after last night being on the receiving end, it's a real eye-opener.
Keep your chin up, Steve.
Hello, may I please speak with a Mrs. Denise Marsh? Good morning, Mrs. Marsh. My name is Wendy Peterson. I'm with the law firm of Melman Spinks. We're trying to ascertain the whereabouts of your sister Dolores. No, nothing is wrong, Mrs. Marsh. A friend of your sister's, a Mr. Paul Stokes, passed away recently and named Dolores in his will. The problem we're having is Mr. Stokes knew her some time ago, and we haven't been able to locate her. Is it possible she's married and changed her name? I'm not sure of the exact amount, but it is a substantial bequest. Any funds to you would be at your sister's discretion, but Mrs. Marsh, unless she's found by the end of business tomorrow, the money rolls into a research trust established by Mr. Stokes at UCLA Medical Center. Petrillo with 2 L's? Uh-huh. And would you have a current address? Uh-huh. Thank you very much. I hope it works out well for you, too.
Good afternoon, Miss Richards. Ellie Jones, Total Security. Where's Steve? He's been detailed to another case.
Well, I'm the client. Aren't I the one who gets to decide who's assigned to us?
Well, yes, ma'am, but Mr. Wegman's expertise was needed on another investigation.
What's your problem?
Nothing. I just don't trust the valets at the gym. And I don't want you so much as laying a on what's inside those bags.
I'll lay a finger on whatever I want to.
I'm not going to argue with you, young lady.
Good. Because you ought to be out looking for a job so you can still afford to go shopping when I emancipate in 172 days. Take me back to my hotel. She always does that. She just goes off on me for no reason.
She's probably stressed out about the guy who's been following you.
She's stressed out. Number one, he's following me, not her. And number two, I was the one who had to kiss Mr. Bad Breath for 32 takes while she was off shopping or getting blitzed in my trailer. Sometimes I think my agent cares more about me and he only steals 10% of my money.
You know, if you're not getting what you need from your mother, maybe you should just sit down and talk to her about it.
Do you know what a conversation with my mother is like? She yells at me and I'm supposed to listen.
Not getting along with your mom is just part of being 15. Trust me, I argued with my mother all the time.
How many of your boyfriends did she screw? If I could just talk to her the way I'm talking to you.
Yeah, well, we don't have all that mother-daughter baggage.
Do you get along with your mom now?
She passed away a couple of years ago, but we had some good talks before she died.
Can we stop for a soda?
Sure.
Do you mind getting it for me? I just don't feel like getting hassled for my autograph.
Sure. What kind do you want?
Great.
Anything else for you? That's give me this one we have.
Oh my God. Papa Charlie Echo 499. Charlie Echo 499.
Mommy? He's got me. I'm okay, but he said if I try to get away, he'll hurt me. I'm really scared. He's got a knife and he's acting really crazy, and I'm afraid of what he might do. I just want to come home.
Call came in around 6.
Hour after she ditched your crack security expert. The hell did Ross find her so fast?
I spoke to the man that gave her a ride. He said he dropped her off at the 4 of clubs. Bouncer said a man came in matching Ross's description, but he didn't remember seeing either of them leave.
Which leaves us exactly nowhere.
I know the detective handling the case. He's a good cop.
How can she do this to me? She knows I'm trying to get up Prozac. Little bitch runs off and gets herself kidnapped.
The police are going to want to set up on the phones here and at the house. Also, I'm going to need a list of her credit cards so we can trace any charges.
My daughter better turn up safe and sound, Frank. Or I'm gonna sue you for every nickel you got.
For now, let's just concentrate on getting her back.
Everything all right, Steve?
Frank.
Morning.
Morning, Geneva.
Here.
What? Where's George?
He's around. Look, what is the proper protocol? We call them us, or what?
Who are you talking about?
Vagina's lawyers.
Steve.
Geneva.
George, could you get me $500 from petty cash and book me on the next flight to Las Vegas?
Sure.
Thank you.
We're gonna stay in a hotel downtown. The odds are a lot looser.
I'm going alone.
Why?
Fiona's credit card was used at a gas station in State Line, Nevada. They also stopped and bought a couple of cowboy hats at a gift shop in Baker. I think she faked the kidnapping and she's taking Ross to Vegas.
Little vacation for the princess?
I make it a honeymoon.
Come on, Frank. Who marries their stalker?
A girl who wants to get back at her mother by following in her footsteps. Call the Vegas Tourism Center. I want the name and number of every wedding chapel in town.
Sure.
The 500, and there's an attorney on the line. Gloria Schwartz from Liebman, Schwartz, and Gertz. It's about the situation.
Oh, no. This is Frank Cisco. Miss Schwartz. Sorry. Ms. Schwartz.
Why that?
There's no reason to play hardball with me. No, I'm not trying to tell you how to conduct your business. I'm just saying that Steve Wegman may be socially inept, but he's hardly the monster you make him out to be.
That's right.
Okay. There may have been some unsolicited touching, but that hardly constitutes a hostile sexual workplace now, does it? Oh.
For what?
Look, can't we reach some kind of agreement? It's a little extreme, isn't it?
Extreme what? Extreme.
My suggestion? We try to avoid a jury trial, which would certainly embarrass your client and most probably destroy Steve Wegman's career. And we try to reach some kind of settlement that would satisfy both parties. Uh-huh.
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 Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll have to run it by our attorneys, but I think that's doable. I understand. Thank you. One more screw-up and we get a choice. We can settle out of court for a flat $1 million, or we can go to trial for 3 or more.
One more time means I'm off the hook this time, right, Frank?
Barely. They were talking chemical castration.
What a vicious bastard. They can't do that, can they?
You get no more chances, Steve. You talk to Geneva for business purposes only. You don't tell her any jokes, you don't compliment her wardrobe, and you don't touch her, no matter how therapeutic you think it might be.
I know, I will, I won't, I mean it.
Now get on the horn to Vegas.
Thank you. I promise. I promise. Cross my heart. I'm so grateful. Hi, you look...
Steve.
The same.
Thank you, Wegman.
See?
Hey.
Hey. This is for you. I located your step-uncle. He put me in touch with your aunt in Florida, and she gave me an address for your mother in Linwood.
That was fast. Did you talk to her?
Just to confirm it was her.
What kind of hit did you get?
Well, I said I was from the DMV. It's not like she opened up to me, but... She's married, has 3 stepchildren, lived in the same house for 10 years. All her bills are paid. It's all in there along with credit history, everything I could find.
Linwood, huh? It's practically my backyard. Yeah. Thanks, George. Flight leaves in half an hour.
Are you going to contact her?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
I'll make sure that you get it by the end of the day. Uh-huh. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, look, I know it's against the rules of the settlement, but I need to say thank you, Geneva. Our backing off was an enormously generous gesture, and I won't forget it. And I won't speak to you ever again.
Why? Did I do something wrong?
No, it was me that was wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought we were friends, and in the last 2 days, you just completely ignored me.
Well, consider the situation.
What situation?
Lawsuit.
The lawsuit.
The lawsuit.
What lawsuit?
You made your point, Frank.
I was good, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Give us a minute.
Come on, let's get out of here.
You're not going anywhere. At least not for a while.
What are you talking about?
Assault on a police officer, drinking underage, possession of marijuana.
That weed wasn't even mine. That was my husband's.
You got yourself in a real jackpot. Never mind what you did to that poor slob, who's probably looking at a felony thanks to you.
The studio will make it go away.
Don't count on it.
Just get me out of here.
You gotta go before a judge first.
Oh, man.
This is one you can't flirt, schmooze, or buy your way out of, Fiona.
Just what I need. A lecture from one of my bodyguards.
No lecture. I wouldn't waste my breath.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'll do whatever you say.
Then you better take a good look in the mirror and get real. Because if you don't, you're going to be burned out by the time you're 17. Assuming you're not dead. You'll be unemployable and probably on the way to being the whore you play at now, because you won't have any other career choice.
That's not gonna happen.
Trust me, it will. I know because I've been right where you are now. So pissed off at the raw deal I got. I was going to show everybody. The only thing I succeeded in doing was screwing up my own life even more.
Well, you turned out okay.
Because I finally got the point. I finally got that I couldn't change the cards that I was dealt. And you can, Fiona. Your mom is who she is. That's not gonna change. The only thing you can change is you.
I'm not the one with the problem.
Which is why you married some poor jerk who was stalking you? Come on, Fiona, even you don't believe that.
You don't know what it's like. I have people around me all day. And do you know how alone I am? Everybody I know is on my payroll, including my mother.
I'm not on your payroll. Here. If you ever need to talk,
what's in it for you? A job on my next movie or something? Or do you just like I'm young?
I don't want anything. Except maybe to help keep you from making some of the same mistakes I did.
Will you wait with me till my mom gets here?
Sure.
Thanks.
stay for a few minutes. My husband gets home from work at 8.
Thanks for coming.
Why are you doing this to me?
I wanted to meet you.
Why couldn't you just left it alone?
For 35 years, I left it alone. Till I couldn't anymore.
Oh, what do you want to know?
Why'd you give me up?
I had you when I was 18 years old. I was so drunk most of the time, I don't even know when you were conceived or where. Did the best I could. But after your father left, I couldn't look after you anymore.
So you pulled me off on Denise and her family.
I'm sorry. There's nothing else I could do. I had my own problems.
What about my father?
He was a kid, same as me. Couldn't deal with me when I was drinking, which was all the time, let alone take care of you.
What happened to him?
I have no idea.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Look, I'm sorry for your trouble. But you seem like you turned out okay. I'm sorry this isn't the reunion you had in mind. But I'm doing the best I can by even being here.
Appreciate you taking the time.
I better go. My husband will be home any minute. You look like your father.